Hey fellas, Coach Lasker here again. Just wanted to touch base with you. Welcome a lot of you newer players into the program, and just real quickly go over our formations so you can start putting this in your head, start thinking about the positions that you are going to play, and so you could really start to understand how easy it is to make sure you're lined up properly. So if we look here in the playbooks here at our middle school air raid playbook, we're just going to jump into the formations. Ace is actually something we'll only use in tackle. So we're going to start with open. And you've heard me talk about this on the field, but it's basically 2 by 2. You see that here. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right, with the running back lined up where the where the tackle would be in a game, okay? So as you can see, this L here is on the left side, and that is why we call them L. If you're an L in our offense, you will never leave the left side of the field. You will always line up so we can go fast when we start getting into games, and we don't have to flip-flop, okay? The R is the same. Yeah, these are the 2 outside receivers. So the R is always on the right side, and always ready to go from that position, okay? No matter what we do, whether it's 3 receivers to one side or 2 receivers or 5 receivers. He's always on the right side and outside of everybody, okay? So the next position I'll talk about is F. So in open, F is equally split between the L and where the offensive lineman would be in a game. He is off the ball, which means the L is on the ball. So when we are in a 2 receiver set on either side, one of you has to be on the ball and one of you have to be off, or it's a penalty. One of you would be ineligible. So the L in open is always on the ball, on the line of scrimmage is what we're talking about here. And the F would be off the ball, and we want you as close to the line of scrimmage without being on the line of scrimmage. So if you align your front foot with the back foot of the L, we will have a perfect alignment there. Now, if you look on this side, the Y is on the ball, and this Y will always be on the ball. That is just a hard and fast rule for our offense. So if you are playing Y, just get in your mind right now, I'm always on the ball no matter where I line up. And so that means the R in this scenario with open is off the ball. Again, we want to make sure you are as close to the line of scrimmage as possible. We want your front foot, which would be the inside foot in this scenario, to be lined up exactly equal with the Y's back foot. And that way you will be in perfect alignment with the rest of everybody on the field. The outside receivers, you will see you are on the bottom of the numbers here. So we don't want to be on the numbers or on the other side of the numbers. You will always be right at the bottom here of the numbers, okay? Now, this T is a running back. He absolutely will be a big part of this offense. You will align yourself behind the tackle, whichever side you flip-flop to. As we get into plays, you will learn pretty quickly what side you're supposed to be on, but for the purposes of this today, this is how we're going to align it, okay? So that's open, nice, quick, and easy. Now, here is early, so we're going to be yelling out on the field, early, early, early. When you run up to the line of scrimmage, we don't huddle. So that means that early is 3 receivers to the right. You hear that R in early, that's the dominant letter and the dominant sound in that word. So that R should tell you 3 receivers on the right side. And so here is the main rules that you need to think about and keep in mind. Number 1, the Y again is always off the ball, or the Y is always on the ball. And he's pretty much paired with this F when we go 3 receivers to either side. So the F continues to stay off the ball. I don't think there's a scenario where the F would be on the ball, so you can go ahead and just chalk that up if you're playing F or want to play F as a rule. But you guys see how you guys are kind of tied together here. We like this scenario because you guys can do a lot of crisscrossing and trying to get these defenders off of you. So the Y is always between the F and the outside receiver. You'll see here in a second that with the next formation will be on the other side. And again, the Y is always between those 2 receivers. So the Y is always between the outside receiver and the F. The F is always between the Y and the line of scrimmage, the quarterback or the lineman, however you want to say that, okay? So with Y being on the ball, now that means R has to back up off the line of scrimmage. Again, we want these guys to align their front foot with the Y's back foot. You see how this guy is a little bit further out, which is what we want as well. We do want to create space for all of our cool routes. Now, this L is all alone. And so someone has to be on the line of scrimmage, as I just mentioned. So if you're all alone out there as an L or an R, you have to be on the line of scrimmage, okay? So that's an easy one to remember. The T in general will align the opposite of three receiver formation. Okay, so this is early with a big dominant R, 3 receivers to the right. So like I just mentioned, we have a 3 receivers to the left set, which is called late. And that's real obvious because the L is the way that the word starts, and it's obviously the dominant letter. So late means 3 receivers to the left. So the rules still apply. Y is always still on the ball. F is always off the ball, kind of bunched up with the Y here. Now, since the Y came over here and he's on the ball, that means F needs to take a step back, stay in perfect alignment with your feet. And R is all by himself, so he has to scoot up. And just like we mentioned, the T is opposite of the 3 receivers usually. We'll let you know if there's any changes with that. All right, that's it. That's our 3 formations for 7-on-7. In tackle, we have 2 more, which is a 2-back set. Again, Y is always on the line of scrimmage, but we will bring the F back here so we can run the ball with him or do some other stuff. We could run the ball with either one. So green again with the dominant R's to the right, and blue is with the Y to the left. Again, we won't run this in 7-on-7 if you're on one of our 7-on-7 teams, but we will run it in tackle season. So, keep it in mind, something to tuck away for tackle season, but we are heavy into 7-on-7 right now. So wanted to get this video out to you guys real quick so you guys can just start to get it in your mind as we go to the field every day. We'll go through this every single day, you know me. But in the meantime, here's something to watch. You can learn it at your own pace with this. Just take a few minutes and watch these videos. Okay, guys, talk to you soon. I'll come back in a minute here with the plays so you can have a video playbook like we talked about. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. See you at practice.